for greatness. My name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all, this is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed, it's how it was made. This ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer the call. The enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down, and I won't give up, and I will act now, and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up. Rise up. Yeah. Walking through the shadows, I see the hangman as he stands at the gallows. The breath of the beast, the gnashing of teeth. But I won't retreat, I won't deplete. I will succeed, I got all that I need. I am prepared for this moment. I see my future and my destiny is calling. The battle is on, I will rise like the sun. I'll get it done one day. I'll look back.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another Niner Sickness podcast. And look who I have here, the one and only, my brother from a different mother. Ancho, how you doing, sir?
I am doing great, man. I've been looking forward to this game that happens tomorrow night, especially after the disappointing, loss last week where this team just didn't come out and really execute. So I'm looking forward to a bounce back game, and some good injury, news as well. So that's always great to hear.
Yes, sir. And you mentioned right before we went live that today is what?
National Tight Ends Day, and that's why we got the George Kittle jersey on.
I should have put on my George Kittle jersey too. I got a little lazy there, but it's okay. I might just pull it out. Let me say hello to Daniel Barry Sports. Welcome to the channel. John is in the house. What's up, John? We got 49ers throwback in the house. Much appreciate you. We got my girl, Dawn Dodson, the greatest mom on earth. She's a wonderful woman, wonderful wife to her husband, wonderful mother to her two daughters. Much love and respect for Dawn. And we have, let's see here. And people are trickling in. Yes, please don't forget to smash the like button and wipe your feet. Also, please don't forget to subscribe.
Because if you do, I will get very, very
mad. So you don't want that. So we're playing Monday night. We've been watching a lot of football. You got the Atlanta Falcons that just beat Tampa Bay with a winning field goal. You got the Giants and the Washington Commanders going. All these games that I've been enjoying on this Sunday, because our game does not occur until tomorrow night when we take on the Minnesota Vikings. What are you looking forward on seeing in this game tomorrow night, brother?
I'm just looking forward to hopefully this offensive line having a much better game. I know Chris Forster during that Browns game tried to have a conversation with the whole offensive line. It didn't work that well, so I'm hoping that they cleaned some things out this throughout the week. But the one concern I do have is that left tackle spot, of course, because Trent Williams is doubtful, so pretty much isn't going to be playing. So then that means most likely Jalen Moore will be playing. And the thing is, he hasn't had a lot of playing time, which you really don't want, but he's also just not looked the best. Especially in preseason and two. But I think because we have the rest of our starters I'm hoping that at least he's able to have a solid game because, I mean, even though Marcus Davenport's out for Minnesota, they still have the leading sack leader. And who knows? I'm sure Daniil Hunter, they'll probably put him on, both sides, switch him up. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings try to do something kind of similar to the Niners as the Browns, but obviously the Vikings defensive line's nowhere close
Yeah.
to them. But man, I just hope the middle, like we do not leave wide open because that's something that we did last week, too. So yeah, I'm hoping that the offensive line can bounce back.
Yeah, there's I'm watching the Colts and the Cleveland Browns, and Minshew has put up 38 points against that defense. So it's crazy, bro. Every week is week to week. You got good teams losing to bad teams. You got this and that. A lot of things happen in the NFL. That's why it's called the NFL. Before we continue on, 49er Throwback says, what are you wearing? So can you please show everyone the jersey you're wearing?
We're wearing the George Kittle jersey, my guy. The
There he
national
is.
tight end.
For national tight end, he's wearing his jersey. I got a couple of Kittles jerseys, and I left it in my closet. I'll probably grab it in a minute. Let me say hello to those that are popping in real quick. We got Ronnie Richardson Jr. in the house. What's up, Ronnie? Welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome to the show. We got Randy Daytona in the house. What's up, Randy? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. And look who it is, the legend, the one and only Mr. Famous all over the world. And we have the honor to say hello to Mr. Bashar from 49er Minded. What's up, brother? How you doing, sir?
49er minded.
Yeah. We got 49ers fan 26 in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing, sir? Welcome. Let's see who else has popped in. Look who it is. We got one of our co-hosts on our shows that we have once a year. No, just kidding. Brandon, how you doing, sir? Every time I see your last name, I want to say Ferragno from the guy that played the Credible Hook, Lou Ferragno. So without the G though. But welcome to the show. Who else has popped in before I start reading some comments? I want to make sure I don't leave nobody out. But yeah, bro. So we're facing the Vikings. Yesterday I had a show with my co-host Jess from East Coast Red and Gold on the Niners Now podcast, and we had a guest, a Viking guest, and we talk about the Vikings and how the Vikings are doing and where they're at as a team. And I wanted to get into the mind of a Viking. I wanted to know what Viking fans go through with the coaches, with players, because we know all too well that a lot of Niner fans are crazy. And they, fire Kyle Shanahan, fire this, get rid of this, get rid of him. And we don't have a good week and fire everybody, right? So they're like on this emotional roller coaster. And I wanted to know if the Niner fans are the only ones that go through that. And David, which I call him Dave, mentioned that no, that the Viking fans are the same way. Half of them love Kirk Cousins. Some of them hate Kirk Cousins. They want their head coach fired. So I guess this is not just a Niner situation. It's probably with every fan base, depending on how their teams are doing. A lot of emotional fans. I want to ask you, Ancho, you personally, just because the Niners have a bad game, are you one of those that want to fire everybody, or you understand, okay, you know what, we haven't got to the Super Bowl yet, but what Kyle has done here and John Lynch is incredible. They have established a winning culture. We are winning. We are always in contention. Do you see that as value, or are you with the other part of the Niners where you want to fire Kyle when he doesn't win a Super Bowl yet, or he doesn't beat the Browns?
I mean, the thing is, yeah, Kyle Shanahan, there's always things we say that he doesn't do well. But the thing is, if you fire him or even John Lynch, who's done a tremendous job of creating this whole culture and this whole entire roster, is who are you gonna be replacing with them? Because ain't no team gonna let a good GM or head coach leave and somebody else, any other team that's not doing as well, or maybe just a head coach away, they would love to have Kyle Shanahan. So there's no point in the 49ers getting rid of Kyle Shanahan. Every coach, team has flaws, and every good team, great team is going to have one of those bad games. It just happens. It's any given week in the NFL. It's not easy in the NFL. So I think that, Kyle Shanahan, yeah, I didn't really like the play calling last week, but again, I'm gonna have his back. He's definitely the best option here, and at least we're contending. Even though I've wanted that Super Bowl for so long, because I've never seen us win a Super Bowl. I've only seen us go to 2 Super Bowls, which was like 2012 against the Ravens, and the 2019 season versus the Chiefs. So I really want that Super Bowl, and I guess we're just gonna have to be patient. But I will say, I think this team definitely is trying to get that Super Bowl just from what John Lynch says, and especially with, I don't know if you've heard, but all the rumors swirling out there that, oh, John Lynch is constantly making, calls. I'm starting to see that John Lynch really wants this sixth Lombardi trophy for this franchise. So,
Of course he does. Listen, a general manager doesn't come into an organization, whether it's a Niner or any organization they go to. A head coach doesn't come in with a mentality of losing or the mentality of we're just going to win games and the Super Bowl is not a priority. Every team, Super Bowl priority at the beginning of the season every year. Coaches come in, that's their game plan. And ultimately, that's the goal, right? The goal is to win a Super Bowl. Like you said yourself, you're a young cat that hasn't, you know about the 5 Super Bowls. You've seen it on YouTube or wherever you've seen the Super Bowls replayed at, but you haven't had the opportunity like myself to see it in person or even see it on TV live for a Super Bowl. And I understand the hunger and the frustration that a lot of young 49er fans have, and they want to experience a Super Bowl victory. And so I understand that, but people need to realize too that if I asked you on show, if Kyle Shanahan gives you hopes that we haven't won a Super Bowl yet, but the way this team is heading, the way they have built this team, Shanahan and John Lynch, is there a possibility that we can win a Super Bowl? I think you will say yes because of the direction they're going. We have come close, and my brother Dion, I love Dion. I have much respect for Dion, but he doesn't believe in luck. And I kind of chuckle at that because I do believe that you need a lot of luck to win a Super Bowl. You don't have to just be great and have a great roster and great coaches. You need luck. And unfortunately for us, we haven't had that. Maybe this year will be the turning year. All I know is that Kyle and John are doing everything they possibly can to keep a healthy and competitive roster. We are one of the teams, if not the team, that has the best roster in the NFL, from starters to backups. If we have a starter that goes down, we can continue to play ball. And that's a compliment, in my personal opinion, to Kyle and John Lynch that we have established. Yes, we haven't set ourselves in a quarterback. Hopefully Brock Purdy can win us a Super Bowl, whether he's a lead or not. To me, that doesn't matter. Can he win us a Super Bowl? A lot of us, when I say a lot of us, I mean Niner fans always say, well, we should have went for Patrick Mahomes. We should have got Deshaun Watson. In hindsight 2020, yes, they should have. But you got to remember, they came in as a first-time GM and a first-time head coach, okay? Then they came in late because Kyle was in the Super Bowl that season. So he didn't have a whole time to prepare and to scout. He was putting coaching team together. He was he was getting scouts, everything. He was trying to get everything quickly. And people don't realize when that happens, you don't have the luxury to scout quarterbacks and do your due diligence. And yet they missed out on Solomon Thomas. They missed out on Reuben Foster, but they hit on George Kittle in 2017 in the 5th round. So to me, even though those two players that I just mentioned did not work out, we got George Kittle out of it. In today's National Tight End Day, so it's a perfect segue to say that we got one of the best tight ends in that draft. And then we got Fred Warner the year later in the 3rd round, which, let's be honest, and I'll ask you this, Hancho, has Fred Warner made you forget about Reuben Foster?
Yes, and I honestly don't even care about any of those other draft picks that really haven't hit because we shouldn't be worrying about the past anyways. We should be worrying about the team now. And
Preach it,
each
brother.
year teams are going to be different. Every team misses you're going to have hits and misses. So I'm okay with it. Just like I was okay with the Niners, selling the farm a little bit, trying to go up and get that quarterback. Yeah, Trey Lance didn't work out, and I was a big fan of him, but they got Brock Purdy, and he's looked pretty good so far. So, yeah, and then, they got Christian McCaffrey, which has really made this offense just blow up and, been scoring 30 plus for most of the time, except for probably, I think, last week was the only time when Brock Purdy starts a game and finishes a game. So, yeah, just like I said earlier, this team is in good hands and I want that Super Bowl, but I'd rather have this team be competitive every year instead of us seeing us just be a bad team, not fun to watch. Like, I don't want that. At least we have a good product out on the field, and that's all thanks to John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and the rest of the coaching staff. So,
And real quick, I just want to say that I'm very emotional right now because I don't understand how 49er minded can say that about me. I gave him a great introduction, and he says that he wants to fire me. Oh my God. I can't hold it. Oh my God.
Anyway, Bashar, kiss my ass. I love you, brother. I'm with you. The ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. Yes, the ultimate goal is to get that Lombardi trophy and hoist it and add to the trophy case. But I don't want to watch a team like teams that are playing right now that are 1-5, that are 2-5, that get there. I mean, you may not have seen the Super Bowl yet win, but you've seen the Chip Kelly season. You've seen the Jim Tansula season, right? Do you want to go through that again? Do you want to go through the Mike Singletary, Mike Nolan seasons where, oh my God, is like no hope, no chances? Forget about the Super Bowl. This is what Niner fans forget so easily. Back then, when we had Mike Nolan and when we had Mike Singletary and those idiots, it wasn't about a Super Bowl. We were like, can we at least make the playoffs, right? And then we get a Harbaugh that takes us to Super Bowl. And people don't realize with Harbaugh, as great as a head coach he is, I still think Kyle's better, but that's my opinion. Harbaugh came in and took over a great talent roster that did not know how to be led by Chip Kelly or Jim Tansula and got us to the NFC Championship a few times in a Super Bowl appearance. But Kyle and John came in here and completely demolished the San Francisco roster and rebuilt it from the floor up. And it took 2 years to do so. Some teams takes three, four, five, 6 years
Exactly.
to even be competitive, right? When I mean competitive, I'm talking about in the playoffs. Some teams make it to the playoffs and then they're one and out, one and done. The Niners in 2 years, Ancho, we were representing in the Super Bowl. Did we win it? No. We could have won and we were leading, we were dominating. We let the foot off the gas, unfortunately, defensively. And you can't do that with Patrick Mahomes. But in 2 years, on the 30th year, we were in the Super Bowl and we've been in NFC championships. We go and draft Trey Lance, hopefully the future quarterback for us. It didn't work out. He's not with the Cowboys. But yet, when we let him go, did we make it back-to-back NFC championship games? So this team is loaded. And I think that this will be the year if we can maintain health. Now, we lost Debo for a game or two. Trent probably missed this game. But if we can remain stay healthy, I think that we can win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy because this defense is so damn good. And the offense is good. I mean, Purdy, 30 points in 5 weeks is not easy to do. They had a little hiccup in Cleveland, but that happens. But when people don't realize, I don't want to lose games. But if we lose a game, I'd rather lose a game to an AFC team and not an NFC team. I don't want to lose team to in the conference. People don't realize how that works. Winning your division, winning games within your division, winning games in the conference, how all that builds up for ties and so forth. So if I have to lose a game, when I say I mean the Niners, I'd rather be in the AFC out of the conference than within the conference. Do you agree with that?
100%, because yeah, it would be great to also defeat a team in the other conference just in case you do have to face them in the Super Bowl. But you're right. The seeding is not based on how you did versus, a team in the other conference. It's based on how you did in the division and then just your overall record, like compared to other NFC teams. So, yeah, I'm fine that at least, okay, they lost, but it's an AFC team. And, you don't want to win every single game. You want to go through that adversity a little bit. And so now this should be hopefully a wake up call for the Niners. So I really expect a big bounce back tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Real quick, somebody mentioned my Mario on my screen, so here you go.
It's me, Mario.
It's a me.
It's me, Mario.
I make my own overlays. I like to give people things to look at when we're having conversations. So I enjoy making overlays. I enjoy making things. So thank you for complimenting Mario, 49er Mario. And we got Big Bosa there on the other side. Talking about defensive end right now, let me ask you something, Ancho. What was your impression in the loss to the Browns from this one kid that we picked up in a trade in the name of Randy Gregory? Now, he looked to me very explosive, had a sack, had a couple of pressures, couple of quarterback hits in his debut, and he didn't even start. If he continues on adding to that, how dangerous do you think this defense can be? Because to me, I think he's that missing D Ford type of speed on opposite of Bosa, and we need that. I wanted to see that from Jackson, but Jackson's not quite there yet. Do you think that this kid will make an impact going forward for this team and mainly tomorrow?
Yeah, Randy Gregory really impressed me, and that was the one positive I took out of the disappointing loss is he just came in. I mean, even if he didn't get a sack, like I know he was there for, just bringing pressure. It's great that he got a sack, and so yeah, I think Randy Gregory really could help this team out because just like you mentioned, Beto, he's that like speed type of rusher, like a D Ford, and that's what I feel like in this system has really worked well in the past. Like a guy with Arden Key that used to be on this team. Um, I absolutely loved this pickup, and Chris Kasurik is that defensive defensive line wizard, and so I expect Randy Gregory to continue be able to bring that pressure and help out this defensive line. And I always wanted us to go out there and get another edge rusher. I wasn't saying it needed to be like a starter, because I knew that they were going to be really high on Drake Jackson. And Drake Jackson, yeah, he's been quiet, but man, if he can just start batting those footballs like he did last
Yeah,
year, I would love to see that again. Um, that's the one thing is I feel like the Niners, it'd be nice if, some of these guys could bat down the ball. And I think Randy Gregory is going to bring some of that fresh pass rush that this team needs, because I personally think, yeah, the Niners have been bringing pressure, but they just haven't converted into sacks. So now with the Randy Gregory, I hope that happens. And, someone that's been really quiet, and I thought ever since bringing Avon Hargrave in, I thought Eric Armstead would really be able to get going. I know it's still kind of early, but I'm hoping that a guy like Eric Armstead can get going as well. So, I mean, I think that, yeah, there's some new guys on this team, and that's why it's probably taken this defensive line some time, but they just got to continue to, you know, go and improve week by week, and hopefully those continue to be sacks.
yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. I think that in 2019 when we had a D Ford, Armstead, Buckner, and a rookie in Bosa, this team was dominant. Now I know that this year we haven't seen it in the sack, but in the pressures. And for those that know me, I love sacks. They're great, but I rather have pressures. Both, absolutely. But I'd rather have pressures because people don't understand that sacks can be misleading. The quarterback can be pushed to your side, and then the quarterback lands in your arms, and you get a sack. Right? Pressures is something you develop yourself putting on the quarterback. And I think that Drake Jackson and what's the name of the kid that came from the Raiders? Farrell.
Cleveland Farrell.
Cleveland Farrell, thank you. I think they're great additions to rotation to keep everything fresh. But I think bringing someone like Randy Gregory, now he's not a high tier pass rusher. I'm not going to say he's second, maybe a third tier pass rusher. But do you need to be it's nice to have a top tier as well, but with the complementary of Armstead, Hargrave, and Bosa, if you can just bring some type of help on the opposite side, it's great. And I saw that in Gregory. I saw that he can penetrate, he can get to the backfield. And people don't realize when he was with the Broncos, he was that linebacker, right? He kept his, he didn't have his hand on the dirt. So he had to concentrate not only on going after the quarterback, but also covering a tight end, covering a running back, or so forth. Here, under Chris Kasarik, all he has to do is put his hand on the dirt, pin his ears back, and go after the quarterback. Players like him and other players, they love that. If you can put your hand on the dirt and go straight after the quarterback, this is what they thrive in. And this is the opportunity that Gregory's going to have. Plus, he's coming into a great structure under Chris Kasarik, John Lynch, a great locker room that supports one another, and I think that he's going to be great for us. I know people have been saying that we should go after Hunter, but Hunter will be a 1-year rental. And how much would we have to give up to get him? Now, is he a game changer? Absolutely. Is Hunter better than Gregory? Yes, he is. But I think that if we can get him from the right price, then I'm okay with that. Like, what was his name that went to the Rams 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl?
Von Miller.
Von Miller. Okay, when Von Miller went to the Rams, he was one of those. Now it was OBJ as well, but he was one of those pieces that helped the Rams over the hump. Danielle Hunter could be that guy for us, absolutely. But for a 1-year rental, I don't know if I want to give a number 1 or number 2 for him when we have Gregory, which we have him for a couple of years, and we didn't have to give up much for him. So I know Niner fans are like, oh, it's the deadline's on the 31st. This name is available. Go after this player. And it's like everybody wants to go after all these players, but they don't realize you got to look at it as a business. You can't just look at it as a fan because you got to think of Brandon Ayuk. You got to think that we're already going to be behind the 8 ball next year in the salary cap. And it's not just bringing players, but it's bringing players that can help us win, but doesn't hurt us in the long run either. So a lot of people are like, bring Surtain, corner. Yes, he will be a great addition to the Niners. I'm not arguing that, but how much would you have to give to get him, first and foremost? And then if you sign him, which you're going to have to, what about Brandon Ayuk? What about, so people need to realize it's not just bringing these big names, is how can they fit scheme-wise and financial in this team? Because I don't want to be the 94 Niners, which we won a Super Bowl, okay, and that's great. I don't know if you were, you were not alive because you didn't see you watch any Super Bowls. Well, you might have been alive, but I don't know if you were a baby. You weren't? Oh, my goodness, that's how old I feel. But the point is, we won that game. We brought in players like Deion Sanders. We brought in players like Ricky Jackson, and we brought Ken Norton Jr., and we put all this money. We won the Super Bowl, but we haven't won one since. Okay, so, and the Rams are starting to find this out. They won their Super Bowl. They got lucky. Let's see how lucky they're going to get to win another one, because they lost a lot of players. Now, some people may say, well, you know what, Beto? This is just me. If I win a Super Bowl, if we win a Super Bowl, I don't care if we're good or no good after that. I just want to experience that. And I'm not going to argue that with them because that's their opinion, and I understand you want to win one, but I don't know. I don't want to win one in the way that we win one. Let's say we win it this year because we bring all these players, but then we kind of break up, and then we're not relevant anymore for the next couple of years. I'd rather be consistent, and I think this team can win a Super Bowl, and not only win one this year, but win one next year, because of the deepness of this roster. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and Murat Parag have done this right. And one thing I love about Jed York is that a lot of people hated Jed York because of this, and that. But people failed to realize, Anshul, that he was a rookie owner. He had a lot of learning to do. And like in any position, you're going to go through your tribulations. You're going to go through your learning curve, right? Until your masters and you feel comfortable in what you're doing. And Jed York, for all the shit he's done, stupid things that he's done, firing Harbaugh instead of firing Bulky, he hired John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, and they have worked out. And most importantly, he has not been in their way. He shuts his mouth. He's not the Jerry Jones. He keeps his mouth shut. He's out of the media. And all he does, if he opens up anything, is the checkbook to bring in players. That's what an owner should do. Just open up your checkbook, keep your mouth shut, and let the people that you put on to run your organization run the organization. I want to get your thoughts personally on Jed York from day one to today. Has he changed in your eyes, and has he become a better owner? You as a fan?
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, you just have to have that trust with the GM and the head coach, and that's exactly what he has. That's why, like, I love it. I give it kind of similar to what the Golden State Warriors owner Joe Lacob does. Yeah, he's involved in some of this stuff, but like he just lets the Warriors front office do their job, and that's, like you said, that's what an owner should be doing. And John Lynch continues to show he's mostly doing the right thing. And I feel like this regime also learns from it, right? The mistakes, like, they always used to go after all these injured guys because, they wouldn't have to give them as big contracts. But now I feel like they're learning, especially from that Javon Kinlaw draft pick. They realized, that was probably a mistake. And they're learning from it. So I'm like that. Um, everybody's gonna make mistakes, and at least they're learning from it. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm great point there, Ancho. You get as long as you learn, as long as you're showing me that you're heading in the right direction, and you learn from your mistakes. Like my kids when they were young, I'm like, listen, I was not the father that was harsh on my kids. My wife has been the one that was more dominant, with the rules. But I always sat down. I never believed in hitting my child. I believed in talking with him, explaining what they did wrong, why was their motives when they were thinking of doing that, and how we can work together in correcting it and becoming a better person. And when you do that, to me, I feel they learn more than just getting hit in the ass and go and sit in your room and you're grounded, right? So you got to work with them. And I think with Kyle and John Lynch, they do that with the players. They talk to them. They have an open door. Is Kyle perfect? No. Is Kyle arrogant? Yes. Does Kyle, hard-headed? Yes. But every good coach is like that. Every good coach is arrogant, hard-headed, but he has done so much for this organization. We have won so many games. I mean, to this franchise, which is the San Francisco 49ers, it's a great franchise. From Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Ronnie Lott, Guy McIntyre, Harris Barton, all these players that have come through the San Francisco 49ers. There's a legacy here. I'm proud to be a Niner fan. I am proud to be part of a team with a great, rich history. And that, have they always been perfect? No. Eddie DeBarlo will always go down, in my opinion, as the best owner ever. Now, he had his issues. He made a mistake, started gambling like a dum-dum, and lost the team. And people that don't like Jed York, let me remind you, when John York was running the team, oh my God, that was scary as hell. John York might be a great businessman, but doesn't know jack about football. And when he gave it to Jed at least has conversations with his uncle, can get ideas from his uncle. And I thought that was cool. So this team is in position to win a Super Bowl this year, as long as we remain healthy. We got great defense. We got a great secondary. Great linebackers. Fred Warner and Greenlaw are amazing. Ward doesn't get enough credit. People are like, oh my God, Ward, he doesn't have interception. But people, if you watch the tape, this guy presses very well. He's on you. Yes, if he loses separation and the player gets away from him, he doesn't have that quick speed to catch up. But that rarely happens because he's so much pressing the receiver. And Lenore has come into his zone. This kid has become, to me, arguably the number one corner right now for the San Francisco 49ers. And he's continued to grow. Safeties, Hufanga, Gibson. We're developing the young kid. We haven't even seen the other corner that has been hurt, Luter, which is
Luter Jr.
Yeah, which is just learning. And the Niners, we have our offensive line. We got rid of McClinchy. People were like, oh my God, Kobe McKivitz. And people in their emotions, right? Kobe McKinnis, he's going to be trash. But he's been, he had a tough start with TJ Watt.
Yep.
But from that point, he has maintained pretty solid. Is he like a Pro Bowl? No, but he's solid. Let me ask you this. Based on the 6 games that we have played this year, have you once missed Mike McClinchy?
Nope.
And that's what you want to feel, right? When you lose a player and you got someone that comes in and you want to feel that, you know what, this player is doing good or just enough that you don't think about the player that left. And I think that if you talk to the Broncos, they're experiencing what we always experience for a few years here with Mike McClinchy. I've seen some games, and Mike McClinchy is getting tossed like a raw doll, and that's something we were accustomed here. McKivitz, I'm trying to think of the kid next to him. Help me out here.
Spencer Burford.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Spencer Burford, Brindle. You got Aaron Banks, and then you got the big silverback and Trent Williams. These guys are amazing. Now, tomorrow, we're going to see Jalen Moore step in. I know. But I think this kid is, especially at left tackle. Right tackle, Jalen Moore does not impress me at all. Left tackle, he plays better. Now, am I saying he's going to be great? Like, no, I'm not. Trent Williams is a freaking Pro Bowl monster.
Hall of Famer, yeah.
Yes. But I think that they only have Hunter on that side. Yes, they might put Hunter on his side. Now, Hunter usually covers about 75 to 80% on the right side. He might move to the left side because of Jalen Moore. But I think personally, Jalen Moore is going to have a decent game. I don't say great, but decent. I am boldly predicting he's not going to give up a sack tomorrow night. He's not going to give up a sack. He might give up some pressures. Based on your reaction, I kind of already know what you're going to say, but what are your thoughts on Jalen Moore starting if Big Trent is a no-go tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely big shoes. I wasn't really impressed by Jalen Moore, like I said, also in the preseason, but also, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show a little bit, like at least he has the rest of the starting offensive line next to him, so I think he will be better. And, with him knowing he's gonna start, like, I think he will be better. Because sometimes players are like, which I think, they shouldn't be doing, but they don't really prepare as well. Because they're like, oh, Trent Williams ain't going to get hurt. I'm not going to be playing. Kind of similar to what happened with Josh Johnson last year. He's like, there's no way I'm going to be playing. And he just wasn't ready. So I think that with Jalen Moore knowing that he's pretty much going to be playing this week, starting this week, I would expect him to be better because he's actually watching the film and, again, knows that he's starting. So I just think the mindset will be different too. So I'm hoping that he has, a pretty solid game. Obviously I don't expect a Trent Williams type of game, but if he just is able to hold up his own at least for some time and just not causing penalties, I'm okay with that. So I think, like I said, he will be better than what we've seen him before. I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and he's not going to be a long term. We're talking about Jalen Moore. He's not going to be a long term solution. He's just a one game cover for Trent Williams. I think Trent Williams will be back for Cincinnati, and as it goes for McKivitz, I think he's holding up his own each game. At least for me, in my personal opinion, watching the All 22 film that I like to do, he's getting better. He's getting better, doing better each and every game. And that's what encourages me as a fan. Are my players getting better? Are they learning? Are they going forward? And this is something that I've seen from McKivitz. So our offensive line is going to be fine. We've gone through some crazy pass rushers. I don't know if you've seen the Cleveland game today. I think they won on a referee help again. But Myles Garrett definitely is making a case for defensive player of the year.
100%.
This kid was crazy today. I mean, he blocked the field goal. He He got a couple of sacks. He got a couple of strip sacks. This guy was all over the place. So, we've gone against some crazy pass for TJ Watt, and we have sustained ourselves. I believe, how many teams, do you know how many times Brock Purdy has been sacked this year? I don't know. I don't think it's many.
I don't, but I don't think it's
I don't think it's that many. So the Lions doing their job. We have a running game. Now, talk about running game. I want to ask you, we're not doctors. At least I'm not a doctor. I never pretend to be a doctor, and I don't got no clue. And I know a lot of Niner fans, because of their feelings, they want to become social media doctors, right? We shouldn't play McCaffrey. McCaffrey shouldn't be played. They should rest him because if McCaffrey feels that he can play, and there are doctors that are saying, he can play, are you okay with him playing? Or are you one of those where we really don't need him against the Vikings? They really can't stop the run. I think we're good with Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell. Why risk bringing in CMC? But people don't realize that when you have CMC on that offense, you can game plan so much different. And you can do so many different things with him on there because the defense has to account for him. And even if he's just a decoy, he's important, just like Debo. So do you think he should play tomorrow night if he feels that he's capable of playing? Or are you like some fans are like, we got to save him from himself and not play him?
I'm going to start off with this. I hate absolutely when people are like, oh, well, we're playing the Vikings. We don't need to start this guy. I don't care who we're playing. It's the NFL. It's any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whenever we're playing.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to hear, oh, he shouldn't play because of that. No, if he's healthy enough, if he's ready to go, which it really seems like he is, because, yesterday the media asked him and he's like, I'm feeling great, I'm feeling great, I'm feeling great. He should play. And yes, they should limit his snaps a little bit and give Jordan Mason, I think, more snaps. But even if it's in a limited format, CMC still should be able to help this team, especially in the passing game. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And real quick to CJ Sports Talk channel, Debo is not going to be playing tomorrow night. Matter of fact, he won't be playing against Cincinnati either. He has a hair fracture on his shoulder, so hopefully he'll be okay to come back after the bye when we go to Jacksonville and play the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we'll see how it goes there. But he will not be playing. CMC is the one that is borderline. It's really up to him. Most likely Trent Williams might not play either. But
he's
CMC,
doubtful.
Yeah, he's doubtful. CMC is questionable. To me, when you're questionable, your chances are high to play. When you're doubtful, they're not as high. But I want to know from everybody in the chat, what is your guys' honest opinion? Whether I agree with you or not, what are your opinion about CMC? Should he play or not play? Now, keep this in mind when you answer. He gives us the best chance of winning, not only by the production that he does, but by the way the defenses have to defend him when he's on the field. They have to strategize different when he's on the field. When Debo went down against the Browns, I don't know about you, Ancho, but I felt it shift. That
100%.
It got shifted, and as much as I love Ray's not Debo, and they started gaming planning different, and it started taking an effect. And then when Christian went down, it all went for shit. But people just still don't realize, even with Christian McCaffrey and Debo going down, with Brock Purdy playing like crap, we were 41 yards away from winning the game. So this team is good. Even when they lose players, they're good. Even through adversity, they're good. Even when the quarterback is not playing great, we are good. it was a missed field goal, and a lot of people are like, we need to get rid of Jake Moody and bring back Robbie Gould. Listen, kicker, the Raider game last. Now he was able to redeem himself in overtime and win it. But you know how many yards it was when he missed it to go that forced the team to go into overtime? 41 yards. Robbie Gould missed indoors, mind you. Okay, kickers miss. Now, my question with Jake Moody is, what is his mental? Can he get over this and go forward, or is this going to linger? That's what scares me. If it lingers and some players, especially kickers, when they have that, woe is me, I can't kick shit, that's when we run into problems. I want to see how this kid produces tomorrow night. I want to see if he gets out of that funk or he stays in it. That's what I'm looking for. But this kid, there's a reason why the Niners, whether you agree with them or not, they took him in the third round. First kicker to be off the board. Why? Because of what he's done in college. So let me ask you, Ancho, and I'm asking everybody in the chat, mainly did he miss this game-winning field goal against the Browns? Do you still think this kid can be special going forward, or do you think that that's what he's going to be? Is one of those guys going to miss a bunch of winning games?
Yeah, so real quick, I know you asked about how many sacks we've given up. It looks like it's 11. So
11 sacks?
Yeah.
Now, answer the question that I asked you when you get a chance. Look up how many sacks has the kid from Washington Redskins. Oh, my goodness. I knew I was going to say it. Commanders. Somehow, how many sacks he has endured. Just to give everybody a perspective. Because people hear 11, right, in 6 games, and they're like, I know, I'll have a share in a minute. When you said 11, right, people are like, oh my God, that's a lot. 11 sacks. What is this line doing? Please tell us how many sacks has Howe endured in 6 games.
40 sacks, which is dead last.
40 sacks. Say it again. How many?
40.
So when you hear 40, does 11 sound like a lot?
Nope.
No. So everything's within perspective, right? You hear just 11, and you're like, oh my God, the line's awful. The offensive line from the Commanders have allowed 45 sacks on this kid. And then the Giants are right behind them. So this offensive line is going to be okay going forward. This team is great. We just got to remain healthy. And as we can do that, I think our chances of winning the Super Bowl are going to be amazing. Real quick, I just want to say, Fernie Leo Gonzalez, welcome to the show, my friend. Good to see you. Yo, bro, landed in Minnesota at 3 a.m. this morning. You're going to the game. Right on. Hey, brother, represent the faithful there. Enjoy the game. I've heard it's a beautiful stadium there. So enjoy it. One thing I love about the Niner faithful, man, we travel and we travel well everywhere. Let me ask you, Ancho, how do you think this game's going to go? Who do you think is going to have tell me who do you think defensively will have the first sack? And second, who will be the first offensive player to score, in your opinion?
Ooh, defensively, I'm gonna go with Javon Hargrave because he's been a little quiet.
Okay.
Just a little bit. So I think Javon Hargrave on defense. And offensively, I mean, I know Brandon Ayuk probably wants to get revenge after that game, and I'm sure Brock Purdy also wants to make sure he gets the ball this time because he was a little bit off, but also had a lot of pressure against him. So I think Brandon Ayuk. And to answer your question a little bit earlier about Jake Moody, yeah, I'm not super concerned as long as he continues to learn and, it's just the NFL lights. So I'm hoping that he can, have a bounce back game. But I'm not concerned like a lot of other people.
Yeah, I hear you. The Raiders lost to the Bears 30-12, and Jalen Johnson had 2 interceptions in the win from Soldier Field. Hey, Jimmy Garoppolo, listen, I don't want to hear that, that he was great, that he was good. He did enough for us. I understand he won games, but stop comparing Brock Purdy to Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not saying Brock Purdy's going to be elite. I'm never going to say he's going to be in the same tier of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. By the way, Lamar Jackson was crazy nuts today
Oh my
against the
gosh, he
Lions
was.
defense. That kid is special, man. Lamar Flowers to Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, but just like he's not going to be at that tier, in my opinion, there's no way he's a game manager like Jimmy was. Josh McDaniels is a sorry ass coach. He has come. This is his second stint in the AFC West. Okay, remember the first time he came over to the Broncos and messed up the Broncos when he drafted Tim Tebow. Now he's come to the Raiders and demolished that team. He's a bad coach, and Jimmy Garoppolo is not playing good. But I don't think he even played today. If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
I think
he did, and it was Brian
Hoyer.
out. Yep.
Oh man, and that guy's trash. He was trash. So, and I know that Kyle Shannon brought him year one, but he brought him because he was familiar with him, not because he was good. Okay, so don't get it twisted. He didn't bring him to win a Super Bowl. He brought him just to kind of a bridge quarterback until we found our quarterback. But that was then. This is now. So the first sack you're saying is going to go to Hargrave. And I'm sorry, I talked a little bit too much. Offensively, who said it was going to score first again?
I think Brandon Ayuk, just
Brandon
because,
Ayuk, okay.
after, I think he was disappointed that he had some drops, and I know Purdy will probably make sure that he gets the ball properly this time to Brandon Ayuk. And I do actually want to bring up real quick, because I know everybody's like, oh, Brock Purdy, he needs good weapons to do this and that, and oh, he's a system quarterback. Everybody's a system quarterback, first of all, and
Preach it, bro. Come on now.
I think, yeah, Brock Purdy, it's good he went through this adversity, because he's a young quarterback, and I expect the playoffs to be more difficult, and especially if this team's going to the Super Bowl, it's probably going to be even more difficult. So I think Brock Purdy, he always seems to be locked in, and wants to put in that work to improve. And because he has all those college starts, against those bigger schools, like, I think a lot of this he is able to do in the NFL. He's been able to take some of those experiences, I feel like, from college. So I think he'll take a similar approach. So I think Brock Purdy will also have a bounce back game.
Yes, sir. Real quick, I just want to acknowledge a few people that have come in. Maverick's in the house. What's up, Maverick? Good to see you, my friend. We got Brian Cope in the house. What's up, my brother from a different mother? I have so much respect for Brian Cope. I think this guy's amazing. I love his attitude, his being positive all the time. Him and his lovely wife, they come on together. They both have their own channels. She represents the ladies of, I know it was the Empire, but they changed it because of some reason. But she runs her show, and then Brian does his thing. Amazing guy. Maverick, a great guy, man. I love Maverick. He's been a longtime supporter. Great guy. And I'm really blessed to have a lot of faithful people that show up on the show and support me and my channel and support us. You guys are amazing. Shardell is always an amazing kid that comes in. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say kid, but I'm 55. So when I say kid, it's because you are compared to me. But there's no disrespect there. what was I ask you against this game of the Vikings? Do you think that Kirk Cousins is going to be able to do anything against this defense on Monday night? You know, we all know, which I think is ridiculous, but we always like to joke around. It's prime time. He doesn't show up in prime time games. He has. But do you think he's going to, let's say, throw for 300 yards against this defense Monday night?
No, I don't think so. And yes, I know the defense played pretty well last week, but I still think, they still think they could be better. And this team just overall still hasn't hit right where they can be because, man, even in those 30-point games, I feel like they could have scored even more. So I think that Kirk Cousins is not going to have a good day because this team is going to be angry. So I think, in fact, he'll throw some interceptions and the Niners will win the turnover battle.
Okay, I like that. You think the Niners kind of they knew they did not have a good game against the Browns. I'm not trying to take nothing away from the Browns. They did what they had to do. And one thing I've noticed, also talking about the Browns real quick, Deshaun got hurt. He hit his head. So they brought in PJ Walker. And then I heard that Deshaun Watson was cleared to come back into the game, and they kept him on the sideline. And they rolled with PJ Walker. And even though it was a crazy call by the referee, they still won by 1 point in this game. So I don't know. Maybe there might be a change there, but it is what it is, bro. It's quarterback is so important in the offense. I mean, I know you weren't born, but I was, a lot of the older fans like me, we were spoiled with the Joe Montanas, the Steve Young, you know what I mean? And then we kind of got on the Alex Smith, but we got to, we went through a lot of quarterbacks, and and finally we have Brock Purdy that can run Kyle Shanahan's calls to perfection. Now, you made a point earlier that I agree with you 100%. What is a system quarterback? And the whole fact that people say that, oh, he's a system quarterback, they all are, because every team has a system, right?
Yeah.
And if you have a system and you're playing within that system, what does that make you? A system quarterback, right? So game manager, I can understand what they say, that you manage, you don't do extra, like Lamar Jackson did not manage the game against the Lions. He pretty much put the whole team on his back and won that game. But system quarterbacks, when they bring that analogy, it cracks me up. Every quarterback, Patrick Mahomes is a system quarterback because he runs the system that Andy Reid wants him to run. He's a special system quarterback, but nevertheless, he's a system quarterback. So when people say that, and I'm glad you brought it up earlier, Andre, because people are ridiculous when they bring that up. It's like, know what you're saying before you say it. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but they're all system quarterbacks. Some of them just run better. And working out with Brock Purdy. People want to talk about, is he elite? Is he a franchise quarterback? I don't know. I really don't know. But what I do know, Ancho, is that this kid can process very quickly. He can read and understand the defense formations. He makes the proper adjustments. He makes right choices. He doesn't allow the pressure to get to him. And Kyle Shanahan, since he's been here, I think personally, even with Matt Ryan, I believe, this is my opinion, but we'll keep it strictly with the Niners, he has found a quarterback that he completely trusts to run his scheme. When you get a head coach that completely trusts his quarterback, things can get dangerous for opposing defenses because there's times where Brock Purdy almost threw an interception and Kyle will call up another play pass and trust him. You will not see that with Jimmy Garoppolo. In fact, in 2019 in the NFC Championship game, we saw the Niners run the ball the rest of the game because they did not trust the ball in Jimmy's hand. The Cowboys are going through that. They don't trust the ball in Dak Prescott. They try to run the ball if they can. This is why when the Cowboys fall behind, they struggle. Their defense has to keep him in it by keeping the game ahead of the other team. So Brock Purdy runs this system to perfection. Kyle can develop and call plays knowing that he trusts his quarterback to run it. So let me ask you, Ansho, does it matter whether he's elite or not? Does it matter if he's a franchise or not? If he's winning games and he's running the plays to perfection and he gives you great chances of winning a Super Bowl, isn't that, in your opinion, what's more important is the capability of running the system to perfection that gives the team the best chance to win a Super Bowl?
100%. Because Brock Purdy, yeah, even though he, has limitations, we'll say, in his like athletic ability, right? His hands are small. He's not that like big, but he's doing a great job of running the system. And the one thing that I continue to say that I did not see in Jimmy Garoppolo or any other quarterback that's played for Kyle Shanahan in this regime, Brock Purdy is like the first guy I've seen where he actually does more than what Kyle Shanahan says. Because sometimes things aren't there. He knows how to adjust and then make the play. And that's exactly what ends up happening. And it's like you said, Beto, as long as we win the Super Bowl, it does not matter who's at quarterback.
Exactly. Now, do we want the Patrick Mahomes? Absolutely. Who doesn't? Do we want the Josh Allen's, the big body prototype quarterback, 6'4" frame with 230 pounds, muscles, and the big can of an arm? Yes, I would love that. As Brock Purdy, as good as he is, if I'll take Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes in an instant, Joe Burrow over him. I'm not delusional. I'm not like, oh my God, I'll keep Brock Purdy. But in this system, and now people always say, well, if you put Brock Purdy in this team and that team, would he be? Who cares if he would be good or not? Is he good here? Is he able to run Kyle Shanahan's system here? Does it matter what he does with Tampa Bay? Does it matter what he does with the Eagles if he was there? It doesn't matter. That's not reality. Reality is he's a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers that Kyle trusts and believes in. And he has won games. He's, 12-1 in his career as a starter? Listen to that. 12-1. Okay? Kyle trusts him. He's put up 30-plus points every game. What else do you want? Is he the future? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Some of us might not even be here next year. Let's take it game by game. Let's take it now. Does he give us a chance to win today, this season? That's all that matters. It's about winning a Super Bowl with Brock, and he gives us a great chance to do so. And we'll figure out the elite stuff later. We'll figure out, if he's going to be a franchise quarterback later. That's something to me that I'm not worried about. Can he win games? Can he process what Kyle's calling in? Can he make the proper adjustments? Can he get out of danger? One of his problems last year was him rolling to his left. Remember, he will roll to his left and get into trouble. He will never climb the pocket. He will roll to his left. What has he done this year? Climb the pocket, and I don't think he has rolled to the left once. That's progress. He's learning. He's learning. He's getting better. So let's stop it with it, whether he's elite or not. Let's stop comparing him to Josh Allen. Stop comparing him to Joe Montana, Steve Young, or Joe Burrow. He's not him. He is Brock Purdy, a guy that is capable of running this offense to the best of his ability and gives us the greatest opportunity to win. Next year is next year. If you win a Super Bowl, Ancho, you said earlier in the show, you have not experienced the Niners winning a Super Bowl in your lifetime, a live Super Bowl. If we win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, and you get to experience a Super Bowl win, you get to experience watching the parade, even if it's on TV in San Francisco. Do you really care if your quarterback is a franchise quarterback or not? Or are you going to be like, yeah, we won the Super Bowl, but, oh, man, we don't have a Josh Allen. We don't have a Patrick Mahomes. Are you really going to argue that point? Are you going to be like, shit, yeah, we are champions for the sixth time? Are you going to worry about whether your quarterback's a franchise quarterback? Or am I overreacting on this? Or are you just going to be happy with the Super Bowl win?
I won't care because the thing is, the whole point in this league is to, and it's hard obviously, but it's to win Super Bowls, to win rings. And if that's what happens, great. And I wouldn't care if Brock Purdy ends up not being the franchise quarterback. I hope he is, but yeah, as long as we win the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And if he becomes that franchise quarterback, great. But it's about winning. And he gives, I don't know about you, bro, but when I watched games with Brock Purdy, and I know the game against the Browns wasn't Purdy. Mm-hmm. No pun intended. But my point being is this. Quarterbacks will struggle. The best of them have struggled.
Look at Mahomes, the first couple weeks.
Yeah. They all struggle. Every quarterback struggles, but do they learn from it? Are they capable of being leaders, true leaders? Brock put the blame on himself. He didn't blame nobody. He said, it's on me. That shows a great leader. This kid is beyond his years. He's going to develop and get bigger, not taller, but muscle-wise. You know what I mean? He's going to... Sometimes when you lack in arm strength, if you have the muscle brain, you can make up for it. Drew Brees was not a big player. Matter of fact, he's about the same height, if not smaller than Brock. And am I saying he's going to be Drew Brees? No, but I'm just saying Drew Brees is going to be a Hall of Famer. Okay? My point being is this. It's great to have a great mind, a great decision maker, processing ability, and a big body and a big arm like Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, that's winning the lotto. But at least we have, listen, I'd rather have a smaller guy that can process quicker and make the right decision than having a 6'4", 6'5", 250 pounds that doesn't process very well. I'd rather have a smaller guy. Now, obviously, we all want the best of the best, but that's just not reality. I think we can win with Brock Purdy. I think the Niners, because of the defense that we have, the offense that we have, the weapons that we have, again, if we remain healthy, and to me, that's the biggest enemy or team that we can face this year is the team of unhealthy. If we can remain healthy, and you look at the rest of the team, a healthy 49ers team, Ancho, are you afraid of playing the Cincinnati Bengals?
No.
Are you afraid to play the Kansas City Chiefs?
A little bit, but I
so
trust.
Based on that a little bit, what makes you afraid of the Kansas City Chiefs if your team is playing and putting up 30 points a game?
It's just more about the defense, because I know, Mahomes always makes defenses so tired. So the defense could look really good for most of the game. But man, if you just end up like, it don't even matter what the score is, I feel like. If you just let Mahomes in the game at any point, there's a huge momentum shift. So that's why, like, that is a little bit concerning to me. But
Yeah. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a beast, but their defense doesn't really scare me. We just need an offense that can
Fair.
compete with their offense, right? If they put up points, we need to put up points. I think that our defense can neutralize. I'm not going to say stop. It's hard to stop Patrick Mahomes, but try to neutralize in the best ability. I think we have a better chance neutralizing Mahomes than their defense neutralizing our playmakers. Now, once you get to the dance, anything can happen and go there. But I am not afraid of any team. This is not me being, what's that word? I can't think of the word, but I'm not afraid of playing any team. I think if the Niners are playing their best football, if they are healthy and they're executing everything to the T, there's not a team out there that scares me. There isn't. Now we can lose. I'm not saying, but they don't scare me. The Ravens, the way they played today, they scare me a little bit. But the Ravens, Lamar Jackson's just a completely different animal. But I still think we can beat them. I'm glad that I think we're playing them in Santa Clara, which is nice.
Correct.
Instead of playing in Baltimore. Now, we've had our problems with Baltimore. Not just the Super Bowl, but I believe we have lost more to Baltimore than we have won when we play against them. And you know how our defense is against mobile quarterbacks. We're not as hot against them. But in reality, which team is? Because when you think you have contained a mobile quarterback and just break out and run for a first down. I seen that today against, with Lamar Jackson, the way he was playing against Detroit's defense. Detroit had all the playmakers contained, and they allowed Lamar just to kill him. And so those are going to be the games. So let me ask you, of all the remaining teams on the Niners schedule, we're healthy, we're playing good football, which team scares you the most? Because we're going to lose more than one game. Okay, that's just the reality. But out of all the teams that we have going forward, which team do you think, based on their personnel and our personnel and matchups, can give us, just like the Cleveland Browns defense gave us a lot of trouble for that type of defense, which other team do you think can give us trouble?
I mean, you mentioned it because you just said you were a little bit scared. I'd say, the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas is probably the matchup that scares me the most, just because, the Niners aren't the best against mobile quarterbacks, and he's the most mobile quarterback that we'll be facing this entire season. And like you said, it's kind of similar to Mahomes. Like, you can try to contain him and slow him down, but there's no way of just straight up stopping Lamar Jackson, because even if you have all the lanes and you're containing him, he's so athletic and has that ability to be able to just get out of the lanes. Because even when I was watching today's game, right, versus the Lions, there were times where, the Lions had a pocket going down, but it's like, I knew it's not over, because he's able to escape and, make bigger plays, extend the plays, and that's exactly what is happening. So the Ravens are probably the team that scares me the most with the rest of this 49ers schedule.
I got you. Hey, real quick, are we live on your channel today?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, do me a favor. Let's show my boy some love. His channel, the Shaw. I'm sorry.
Shaw Show.
Yeah, I'm an old man. Shaw. I always want to say the Shaw Redemption, but it sticks with me. I love. That's one of my favorite movies. But
It's a great movie.
it is. But guys, do me a favor. I did not put in. I should have put in the link. I apologize for that
It's okay.
in the description. But make sure to go to his channel, support him. He's doing great stuff. He's passionate for the Niners. He loves his Niners. He has his lives. He does his videos. Let's support one another. Make sure to go to his channel, subscribe, hit the like button. If you're watching through my channel, I appreciate it. But for those, especially if you're watching on a computer or even on a phone, open up another browser and go to his channel and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. Let's get those likes up for his channel. Also, I got my boy 49er Minded, who's also
Appreciate you, Bashar.
he's doing a great job over there on his channel. He has great guests. I have true nothing but respect for Bashar and what he does, man. He's one of the good ones. Support his channel. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. Make sure to follow him. He has very interesting lives, man. He has great guests. Continue to support him. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you put on the link. There it is. Bashar, do me a favor. Put in your link as well. Let's get your channel going as well, man. I love promoting people's channels. I love people growing and going to people's channels. I love it. So let's welcome my boy Jason. Talking about channels. My boy Jason is another guy who has the Niner Faithful radio. Now, I may mess up people's names because there's so many of us, but I believe that's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. 49er Faithful Radio. He does it with I'm great with faces. Names. Come on, Beto. His co-host. I want to say TJ.
I think that's his name.
Is
don't
it?
even know.
Correct me if I'm wrong there, Jason, but make sure to support Jason and his channel as well. They just started a YouTube channel. They've been going on for a minute on Facebook. They had just come over to the YouTube channel family. They're doing their thing. Please make sure to subscribe to their channel. They have great lives. There's a young lady also that does lives with them. I forgot her name, but Jamie and TJ. Okay. Thank you, Jason. Great trio. These are great trio guys. Make sure to follow them. Put in your link, Jason. I really want those that are watching now or may watch this video later on I really want to support all my content creators. I really do. I really want everyone to have a great following because I think everyone brings great parts to the channel. I love listening to Ancho and his perspective. I've listened to Brandon, Dion, Christian when we come together. I love listening to Jason, Jamie, and TJ. I love listening to Bashar and his guest. Everyone out there. There's not one content creator. I'm not a big fan of Grant Cohn, but I appreciate him because he helps out a lot of people. You may not like him. You might not like his style. But the one thing that Grant Cohn does do is he helps a lot of people grow their channel. And I have respect for that. It's all about a community of Niner faithful supporting one another, talking 49er football. I know sometimes it gets competitive within the creators and everybody's trying to build their channel. But I'm a firm believer that if you build other people's channels, you'll get rewarded and people will subscribe to your channel. It's all about being humble. Ancho, we've been on here for about an hour and 25 minutes. It has been an honor to have you on. This is the first time that me and you have gone one-on-one. I enjoyed myself. I think we should do this more often going forward. You bring a lot of great points. You were amazing today. You represented George Kittle and the jersey. By the way, if those that came in late, he is wearing George Kittle's jersey because today is National Tight Ends Day. I was too lazy. My fat ass was too lazy to walk 5 feet away to get my jersey out of the closet. But it is what it is. I enjoyed today's. I wasn't planning to go live today, honestly. My brother brought it up for me last night, and I'm like, let's do it. Now I'm glad I did it. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed everybody in the chat. Make sure to follow 49er Minded. Make sure to follow Jason and the 49er Faithful Radio. Make sure to follow my boy, the Shaw Show podcast, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Make sure to follow him, support him, and continue to follow like Jason Naylor. I love that guy. Second Chance Sports. I love that guy. I love one of my favorites is Wayne Breezy, comical guy. Mike from Nothing But Niners is amazing. I can go on and on and on. And I don't want to keep mentioning names because I'm going to leave somebody out. And but you know who you are. You guys continue to do a great job. Continue to support your channels, man, and put in the work. These guys are amazing. Before we go, is there anything going on your channel that you might want to give a shout out next week?
Yeah, so tomorrow of course we have the game, so I've been doing these live casts during the game, so I will be doing that.
Oh, okay.
And then might be on Tuesday because I also do Warriors stuff. It's, opening night. The Warriors are playing the Phoenix Suns, so I'll probably be doing a cast for that too, and just continue to put out videos on any news that comes out throughout the week. So
Okay, so you don't just do football; you do like NBA. You do.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, basketball starts next week. I'm excited for that. I think the Lakers are in prime position to win a lot of games. The key thing is, can we stay healthy? Can LeBron stay healthy? AD, can he stay healthy? We added some great pieces. I know that the Warriors have added great pieces. I know that Anshul, Bashar, and my girl Dawn Dawson, they are big time Warrior fans. And I wish you guys the best of luck this season, except when you play us, obviously. But I do wish a healthy season, everyone, every team, healthy season. With that, I am your boy, Niner Beto, AK Niner Sickness, with my boy Ancho. Thank you for joining me, brother. We got to do this more often.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. And everyone, make sure to hit that like button and support my boy. Until next time, have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of the football game. Enjoy Sunday Night Football. And then especially, let's go tomorrow and kick the crap out of the Vikings.
Yes, sir.
The Vikings are trying to get a quarterback. They're going to move on from Kirk Cousins. They're not going. No team ever admits they're tanking. So, as generous as we are, let's help out the Vikings to get a high draft pick by kicking their ass tomorrow, and putting them in prime position to do so. With that, we are gone. Peace. Until next time, remember, God bless and have a wonderful day. Peace.
Go 9.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,